Hi, I'm Frank Washkuch. I'm the news editor of PRWeek, and I'm thrilled to be joined by Harold Burson. He is the founding chairman of Burson-Marsteller, and Don Baer. He is the worldwide chair and CEO of the agency. We're here for Burson-Marsteller's 60th anniversary. So with that in mind, Harold, take us back 60 years. When you founded the agency, what were your immediate goals 60 years ago when you were launching?
Well, actually, I founded it with Bill Marsteller, who had an advertising agency in Chicago. And our immediate goals was really serving business-to-business clients. And the Marsteller agency also was specialized in that. We were introduced by someone from the New York Times. Marsteller recommended me to one of his biggest clients, Rockwell International, and then later to Clark Equipment Company, and both of those projects that I had worked out well. And I suggested to Marsteller that we start a new company, and also we talked about the advantages of having an advertising agency alongside a public relations firm, and he also had a small research firm. So, and we said that we were providing total communications. And I think that really morphed as time went on into integrated communications. But we were among the first to do that.
And integrated is a key word right now that everybody is talking about. It's 60 years, a lot has changed, obviously. Don, what have you seen? You've been CEO about a year now. What have you seen since you took over in the lead role here?
Well, everything's changing very, very fast. I suspect that change has been a constant, actually, in this field for as long as Harold's been at it. So, you know, it's not like we just discovered change.
Right.
But obviously the digital and social revolution is changing many, many things in terms of how you deal with public relations and marketing on so many different fronts. And the velocity with which issues arise and turn into major issues and have to be dealt with, I think has dramatically increased in recent years, in part because of the proliferation of media and the digital and social revolution.
Now, Harold, you mentioned when you started out it was mostly B2B work you were doing. Obviously, you do a lot more than that right now. Can you think of a moment where it all started to change, or where?
Well, it started to change for us in 1961, and for about 2 years after the formation of the European Common Market, I started thinking about going overseas. And it was a very risky thing because we had about 30 people. We were yet to do $1 million in revenues for a single year. And without really knowing that I was doing it, we put an office in Geneva and automatically became the other international firm, the first being Hill & Knowlton over there. So here we were, 1/10 the size of Hill & Knowlton, being equated with Hill & Knowlton, that we're the only two who have offices outside the United States. And that was a really defining moment, I think, for this company.
So you're legendary for still coming into the office every day. When you look ahead through the rest of 2013, what are your goals for the year, and what do you see the agency doing?
Well, you know, I guess my #1 goal is to be here for next year.
That's our goal for you too.
I have been spending the last couple of years doing a memoir, which is about finished now, and I just regard myself on call, and I get calls from all over the world, and some of them are very substantive, but a lot of it is institutional memory. And fortunately, it seems that while I have difficulty telling you what I had for lunch yesterday, I can tell you what happened in 1973. And the other is that I do visit clients and I visit offices, and people seem to want to come see me and talk to me.
And when you go to the offices, so what do they want to ask you about? You know, what do they want to talk to you about the most?
They want advice on specific projects that they're working on. How would I approach it? Or have we done this before? And I guess probably the most often question I'm asked is, have we done it before, and what did we do, and so forth and so on. And a lot of it, if they would look into our archives, they could find it there, and I direct them to the archives usually. But it's a diverse sort of agenda that I have. I do what I call institutional and ceremonial events. For example, I was in Milan last year for our 35th anniversary. I go to frequently. We have a 40th anniversary. We're going to have 40th anniversary in Asia this year, so I'll probably go out to Hong Kong when they have their 40th anniversary. It seems that they get a bigger crowd when I come, and I think it's basically they don't really believe in our lives, so they come to see what I am.
So Don, same question for you. 2013, looking ahead, what do you see the agency doing? What are your goals?
The biggest goals that I think all agencies have at this point is about talent and constantly refurbishing, adding to the well of people that we have that we can draw on. This is a talent business, and we're looking for people who are more strategic, more creative, who are really focused in on how to grow our businesses in so many different ways. You talk about things being integrated. There's no kind of bright line anymore in the field of communications as there used to be between the fields of public relations and advertising and research and other forms of communication. So we're looking for people who can really cross many of those fronts and yet still have levels of expertise that clients recognize and see as being the kind of people that they want to trust and invest their confidence in.
And I'd imagine that's pretty competitive, considering that you're competing against, ad agencies, probably digital and direct agencies as well.
It's very competitive, and frankly, we're competing even outside the traditional communication sectors, and they are competing with us as well. One of the things, great resources and assets we have is Herald, and I just want to say, because we're here at the 60th anniversary of the firm, how fortunate we as a firm are to have Harold, not just sort of an abstract version of Harold, but the real flesh and blood version of Harold, and the ideas and the thoughtfulness and the values that he embodies, and how personally I am very fortunate to have him in this role, which is new to me as CEO, to be able to work with him.
We, for example, today will compete sometimes with a management consulting firm. We'll compete with a big four accounting firm. So
law firms.
So it's not only the public relations firms that we compete against.
Well, Harold, thanks again for joining us. The 60th anniversary again of Burson-Marsteller. Don Baer, thanks again for joining us. I'm Frank Washkuch. I'm the news editor of PRWeek. Thank you.